Well.
This only took 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, we're trying to do the high-tech earpieces and microphones, and I had it all set up. I tested everything except what I didn't test, which I couldn't test, which was could we both talk at the same time?
And hear at the same time.
And hear at the same time. So we couldn't. So now we're back to our low-tech sharing of the earbuds.
Yeah. Okay. So we had another topic in mind for today.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think this is where a lot of couples get stuck. You know, there's a project, they want to do a project, and somebody has one idea of how a project should be done, and the other person has another idea of how the project should be done, or they start running into problems in the project, and then one person gets upset and the other person doesn't, or they both get upset, and we can't be the only ones that have this issue. So I think it's really important that this came up. It was really big this morning, and you are so good about just flowing, and you got pissy.
Well,
you even yelled at the dog.
Well, because the dog jumped up and tried to get on our podcast. It's not Jay, Cindy, and three different dogs jumping on the lap. Kissing. I was looking at the clock. You were saying, I've got to be out of here by X amount of time. And I was looking at the clock, and I was thinking of you. So I was getting a little bit flustered because things weren't working.
A little flustered. You got pissy.
Yes, and that's a little. I didn't throw a fit and scream and holler and yell.
I know, but when you normally flow so well, for you to get a little pissy is like, that's big.
And that's okay. Oh, so here, let's talk about that.
Okay.
It's okay. So because I don't get upset all the time,
right,
doesn't mean I can't get upset. And when I do, it's okay that I get upset.
I know, but can you see how it takes me off guard when I'm the one who's supposed to get upset and pissy, not you. So
See, now you're making rules. No, you're making.
I'm not making rules. I'm saying the way it normally is. Normally, if things start going wrong, then I start to get annoyed or pissy, and you look at me and you go, Cindy, the world is round, or Cindy, it's going to be okay, or Cindy, I'm going to figure it out. And then when that doesn't happen, then I get surprised.
Surprise.
Surprise. Yeah. So with my ex, I hated doing projects with him because he would always say it's going to take 15 minutes, and instead of 15 minutes, it always took like an hour and a half. And then from 15 minutes on until the project was done, it was curse word, throwing things, really react. And then I would react from his reaction. So I couldn't step back and step away and go, okay, this is his stuff. He's getting upset. I would always just react right back.
So I become your ex when I get upset in your mind. Because you're not responding to me, you're responding to your ex.
Maybe. I think it's just surprise or disappointment or whatever. That's one of the reasons why I love being with you, is because you flow so well, and when you don't flow so well, it just takes me kind of off guard. Right? So what were projects like with you with your practice wives?
I would say the same. I've always been flow. I've always been flow because I had to be flow. I wasn't allowed to be upset.
Oh, you weren't?
No.
Everybody in my family was upset.
And there were people that are always upset in my family too. Doesn't mean that I could be. Or I didn't give myself permission to be upset because I didn't want to add to the chaos.
There you go. Yeah. So how can we help other couples? We can't be the only couple that, starts to do a project and then start and have an argument.
Well, I think...
And what we did wasn't really an argument. It was just...
It was me being upset and you being shocked that I was upset. And I yelled at the dog, oh my God.
No, it hurt his feelings.
It did not. Yeah, I hurt his feelings until I said, "Are you hungry? You want to eat? Or you want to go outside?"
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they don't have a very long memory. Okay, so how can we help other couples?
So I think by not worrying about helping other couples, but we can talk through what we go through that can help other couples. So, for instance, I like the idea of talking about the fact that I have the right to be upset. And when I do get upset, it's frustrating. All right, so it's frustrating when I get upset and you go, "You never get upset," and I can't believe you got upset. Just because I don't get upset all the time doesn't mean I can't just be upset.
Well, you can
Because
be upset.
I do, and just like the dog's memory, I don't have a long memory either.
I know, but
I don't, and it never lasts long, ever, does it?
no, it doesn't. And
Because 6.5 minutes ago, I was really upset.
yes, I'm not saying that you don't have the right to be upset, but when you get upset, there are consequences, positive and negatively, to everything that we do, don't do, say, don't say, right? So the consequence to you getting upset is that then I get surprised and shocked, and then I have to come back from it.
So, should I get upset more so you're not so shocked and surprised?
You're too funny. No. But yeah, it's not that you don't have permission to. Of course you have of course you have the right to get upset. I mean, everybody. Okay, so feelings are real, but are the feelings valid? Right? So when you're trying to put something together and it's not working right, of course you're going to get frustrated. But does frustrated mean that I don't know. Stop. I don't think we have the right to be ugly to each other. And you weren't ugly.
No.
And you weren't ugly.
No, it was truly internal battle. Well, it was an internal battle with me, externally battling with my Macintosh.
That's very true.
Look how cool these things are. We were going to have these on our heads, and we're going to be
They are cool looking anyway.
And then,
do you think the microphone was off?
No, because remember when we switched it over from one USB port to the other, all of a sudden the one that was the furthest to the end was always the one that was working. So I'll find more. And hey, people out there, if you have suggestions on, I guess there has to be a box that I can plug 2 different microphones, headsets in, and they both work. That's what I'm looking for.
So you're asking them for help.
Help! Yes.
So we can do this podcast better.
Yep. All right, so we'll wait.
We're going to wait for what?
Their answer.
Honey, they're not going to answer right now.
Whatever. Fine.
Do we have anybody that's even listening?
Yeah, somebody.
Have somebody listening.
Yeah. Hi, somebody.
Oh, Leo just gave his comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's still upset.
So people get frustrated. So how can we help? Again, how can we help other couples who get frustrated with each other? We could take a time out.
Okay, all right. So what did you say? Would you say I do when you get upset?
You tell me to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And you tell me the world is round.
Because
and
it is.
Right, and you make a joke.
Mm-hmm.
So you either tell me to breathe,
mm-hmm.
or you make a joke.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to get you to breathe, and that didn't work.
Yeah, but this look does not help me breathe.
Okay, so don't make a nasty look when you're telling them to breathe.
Right.
That's helpful.
That is helpful.
Okay. But you're really calm. Typically. I mean, like, you're just so... calmness really helps. So breathing and trying to stay calm and understanding... I think this is what I think that you do, is that... this is what I think that you do that's so awesome, is that you're gonna get it done.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole comment about the world is round.
Right.
It's going to work out. It is going to happen.
Right. And I guess there is something in me and maybe in all of us that has this fear that it's not going to get worked out, or that it has to be worked out right now, or bad things are going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I think that confidence in you, that that look up YouTube podcasts, or you'll Google microphones and podcasts, or you
Right after this.
there is this knowledge within you that you're going to figure it out, so why get upset about it?
Right.
I like that. I think that is really, really good. So if we can trust ourselves to know that, okay, it's not working now, but we can make it work later, and nothing horrible is going to happen if we don't get it figured out right this minute.
Well, it's not just trusting yourself, it's trusting your partner.
Yes.
Because I think that's what...
That's true.
I think you just went into thinking I was... What's his name?
Rob, if you're listening.
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
And I think you go back to old patterns. When I get upset, it could remind you of your brothers, your father, Rob. It could remind you of a lot of things.
Yeah, my father used to get angry when things didn't work out.
Triggers you. So,
but my father was always pretty patient with stuff like that too. I don't know. I think we're fascinating beings, and I think that the bottom line is when we get upset and because a project isn't going the way we want it to go, or what I'm really bad with is when we get lost. I don't like getting lost, because that's when bad things can happen, when you get lost. Then you're going to be really late.
That's what I really remind her, that the world is round.
I know. But, you're going to be really late, and people are going to judge you for it, or you feel bad because people are waiting for you, and you feel like you might be wasting their time, or they might think that you're waiting. Yeah, getting lost, or I've gotten lost in New York City before and ended up in not very nice places. So I guess getting lost is a place that I know I have to still work on, but
Vodka.
It is so not vodka. What time is it? It's not even 10:30 in the morning yet. It's water.
Except in Lithuania, it's later.
4:30. 4:30 in the afternoon.
Kids, do your math. That was my little...
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, because they might be listening.
Yeah.
Hey, kids, when you text back and forth across the world, realize that it's 1 o'clock in the morning here. And our phones are going beep, 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 beep.
So rather than trying to make kind of snide humor about it, what might be more helpful?
Getting them watches that have this time on it. I want to get them dual-faced watches. When they look at their watch, it shows the time that they're going to be texting.
So right now, my son is in Lithuania, auditioning for...
Dancing his feet off.
Auditioning for a dance company there, and he's been in Israel, which is the same time difference. It's 7 hours. And he's finishing up a contract there. And my daughter is in Paris, France, which is a 6-hour time difference. And we keep our phones by the bed because...
emergencies or alarms or...
Yeah.
And, because we like to talk.
Real things happen. And so when our phones, even when we turn the ringer off, we hear ding.
No.
What did we hear?
No,
Buzz?
Vibrate. Yeah. It's like...
Buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're a pretty light sleeper. Right. So...
Yes. Despite my weight. Light sleeper, fat man. I don't know. Go ahead.
I'm not going there.
Good.
No, good.
That was my joke.
I am
that was my
not
joke.
walking through that.
No.
Anyway.
Can't. I'm filling the door.
I will send a text to my children requesting that they check the time.
Just be aware.
And well, what we can do is we can create healthy boundaries for both of us, because sometimes I text them at night and I forget. So, I mean, it's not like it doesn't happen the other way.
Right. No, I know. It's going to happen in the future. It's going to happen again.
Right. So, I guess we just, healthy boundaries, just to send a text going, please look at your watch before you send a text.
When I was in Barcelona and there was text going on back and forth with the people I work with, I went to answer it and I realized that I was answering their text 6 hours, 7 hours after they sent it. And you don't think about it at the moment because you got the idea and the mindset. I mean, I totally get why it happens.
Well, but I think this goes back to the whole piece of when you get pissed off about something, not you, when you, as in the collective you,
Everybody else
get
than
pissed
me.
off, gets pissed off or with something, rather than going to the pissed off place, going to the place underneath it. So I probably could have said to you, wow, honey, I see that you're really frustrated. What are you worried about? Right? And you could have said, well, I'm worried about you, which you did say. And I said, well, honey, don't worry. It's okay. Because I'm meeting a friend for lunch and I can be a few minutes late and I can just let her know then. So that, I think, helps amp things down when we don't go to the anger place, but we go underneath it and go to the root of what's happening, which is we just want to have a healthier boundary around what time the texts go back and forth.
Well,
all.
when I taught self-defense, or when I teach self-defense, I always talk that a fight usually doesn't just start. It doesn't start with someone punching you in the face. Usually it escalates. It goes, one person says something and another person says something, and the other person tries to go over it until eventually it gets physical. But when someone says calm, then the person that has anger can only go so high by himself.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
So I think that that's something that we can bring to this as well. Is not only is it breathe, not only is it use humor, but it's also going to that underneath place of what's really happening. Like, what's the real issue, and how do we fix that real issue? By being snarky isn't going to fix the issue, because then they're going to get upset.
Yeah, that's adding fuel to the fire. Yeah. So I think it kind of goes right back to the do you mean, without playing the do you mean, because there's nothing worse than playing do you mean when the other person's upset. Ever.
I love the do you mean game.
It's great. It does resolve problems. It's not easy. It's not necessarily fun, but it does resolve things.
It does resolve things, because you get to the.
But in that circumstance, do you mean, are you upset because of this? No, I'm not. I'm upset because I should be able to push a button and it works, because it normally does.
Yeah, and you've usually done all the research, and you've usually already checked it out. So it makes it really easy for me, because all I have to do is like show up and have makeup on, smile.
Me too. Got my rouge.
Oh, I know, you're so. I love it. What was Prince's quote?
What man can wear eye makeup, lipstick, and high heels and still make you nervous about stealing your girl from you, or something like that?
Prince. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I'm wearing high heels right now, so.
He has to wear high heels every day because he's so short.
Watch out. I'm about to steal all your women because of my high heels.
Yeah, absolutely, because of your high heels. No, I don't think so. Okay, so.
She was scrambling to get this live, too. It's like, oh, he's mad here. Record.
Not many people get to see you angry.
No.
I'm one of few people. We can interview some of your not your ex-wives, your practice wives.
They didn't see me very angry either. In fact, hardly. What do you say? What, my last practice wife, when we first met, I bragged about.
You said you never argued with her.
Yeah, so.
And I said.
That's not healthy. Let's start arguing. And so she started making arguments up.
I didn't make arguments up.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah, I probably did. But I told you that we would have arguments and conflict.
Mm-hmm.
This is normal.
Sure.
It's how we work through it, right? Okay, this is pretty boring.
It is boring. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so we've got
6 minutes left.
6 minutes left. Let's talk about sex.
For 6 minutes?
Go.
Okay, I could make a really funny joke about that.
It's not the length that matters. It's not the length of time that we talk about it. It's the fact that we do talk about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sex.
So I watched a video this morning sent to me, or it was on Facebook.
What?
I watched a video this morning on Facebook.
You're admitting that... on Facebook, so it can't be. Okay.
Talking about... See? Let me finish my sentence. Which is what you said to me earlier today. So I have a friend of mine that was like, ew, gross. You know, they were interviewing old people about sex.
Oh, that was funny.
And I'm thinking to myself, the person that posted it, and they were like going, oh, I know this person was going, ew, you know, these people are 70 and 80 and talking about sex. And I just posted on her page, yeah, but the 20-year-olds think you're like a grandmother too. So, I mean, it's really perspective. I mean, at what point does anyone ever think of someone 15, 20, 30, 40 years older than them, thinking about them having sex? At what point does that ever sound sexy? But the bottom line is that people do, and it's okay, you know. And
people do what? Do have sex?
Yeah, at all ages.
I hope so. I hope when we're 80, we're still having sex.
Yeah, that's gross. That's disgusting to think about. But what did
that lady say about the bang, what was that, the bang, getting banged, what did she say, that the bang was better than nothing? What did she say?
Yeah, no, I can't remember.
Oh my goodness. Yes. So actually, the reason why we were going to talk about sex today is because I had a conversation with somebody in the last couple of weeks, and they were really frustrated because they wanted to have sex more than their partner. And
I think that's very normal.
It is very normal, right?
And it changes.
And it does change. And one of the things I explained is that we get confused sometimes because men and women see sex very differently, and women typically, not always, but typically, want to make love because they want a deep connection. They want to connect on a very deep, intimate level. And are you laughing at the dog?
No, I'm laughing at what you're talking about because I'm like, this is Mars and Venus thing going on here.
Well, it is kind of, but in men, it's typically a more physical thing. Again, that's a big generalization. And so when you have a woman's love language being touch, right? Or a man's love language being touch, if that isn't being met by making love, then you've got to be able to meet it in other ways. So, like as you walk by, you know, putting your hand on their arm or shoulder, or kissing the back of their neck, or holding their hand, or whatever. But women need that deep connection. And men need the physicality. And at different times in your life, we're going to have different needs.
Yep.
Right? Because we both came into our relationship, you know, being pretty wounded around sexuality.
Yep.
But is it true? So this is something I really wanted to ask you, and we're going to have to talk about it more another time because we're running out of time. But
science.
No. No. So... Stop it. So, if men...
And so what you don't hear, but we hear in our ears, is the theme music starting, which means it's the end of our show. So, you've been listening to Jay and Cindy sitting in a tree. Kissing. She usually goes. And we'll continue this conversation on the next podcast.
See ya.
Bye.